Hi again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Happy Wednesday, I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. So today we are building a very special house. It is base game only and the reason that we're building this is because I was asked to be part of the Sims 4 Back to Basics collaboration. I will put all the information in the description box below for you if you want to learn a little bit more about it. But essentially, a bunch of us Simmers got together and created a base game only save file. So it's very, very exciting. We are so pleased to be able to share this with you all, and this is my contribution towards the save file. So this is a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom family house. It's extremely gameplay friendly, and if I don't mind saying so myself, it looks pretty good for a base game only house. I've come to the realization that I don't do enough of these, and this has definitely opened my eyes, and it was definitely a test. It was a bit of a challenge. However, I enjoyed the process very much, and it's something that I would like to do again in the very near future. So if you would like to see more base game only builds, drop me a comment down below. Or if you want to see some more pack restricted builds, drop me a comment down below. I love going through all your guys' ideas and seeing what you can come up with. So anyway, this is the exterior of the build. Obviously, as you can see, the shape came together extremely quickly because I already sort of knew going into it what I wanted to achieve from this particular house. The only thing that stumped me with the exterior in particular was the colour scheme. I've been struggling with my exterior colour schemes for quite some time on the channel actually. I don't know if anyone's picked up on it. I tend to talk about it and sort of point it out when I'm struggling. So, because what I'll do is I'll find a reference image, and more often than not, I just use the reference image for the shape of the house rather than the colour scheme. Unless the colour scheme speaks to me, I tend to do that. So I don't know if anyone else does the same thing. Maybe not. I'm not entirely sure, but that's sort of my process with it. So again, exterior came together very, very quickly, and I definitely underestimated the size of this house. I knew I wanted to build a house for a larger family, but 8 Sims was definitely obviously the max, because without mods, 8 Sims is the most amount of Sims that you can have in a house at any one time. So it worked out for the best, essentially, because I know a lot of people do play with the slightly larger houses, the slightly larger families, so this would definitely cater for that if that's your style of gameplay. I also really love this because I don't know if it's common knowledge, but the Sims 4 base game will be free for everyone to have from the middle of October. So this save file has come at a really good time, and if you are thinking about getting into The Sims, you will be able to get the Sims 4 base game for free from the middle of October. So hopefully if you like this house, then you can maybe download it and let me know what you think. But again, I will be doing a lot more of these on the channel. I in particular loved doing the children's bedrooms upstairs. I can't wait to show you them all because they're all so lively and full of character, and I was able to find some items from the base game that I wasn't even aware that we even had, and sort of like make them look a bit cluttered and lived in and just really full of character. So we'll talk a bit more about that when we get onto the upper floor of the house, but we are currently, as I said, working on the exterior. I'm trying to go through the colour schemes as to what I wanted, and initially I was thinking of doing like a soft wood with a white panelling and a soft grey roof. I was like, oh, this looks quite nice. And then I started playing around with it and I'm like, no, I just don't like it. So this is where we start to add the red brick. You will see me going backwards and forwards a couple of times just because I really struggled. I'm going to be completely honest. I really did struggle with this house in particular. And I think it's because I'm so used to having all of the wallpapers at my disposal, because 99 times out of 100 I do not restrict my packs. So when you're doing a base game only build, or you're doing base game and a pack or 2 or 3 packs, you have to be very mindful about what you're choosing to use, obviously, because you are more restricted. But what it does offer is it offers you a bit of time to sort of think, okay, well, what can I do that's maybe different that I don't normally do? Because I think when you've got access to all the packs, you tend to gravitate towards the same items over and over again. And I think sort of restricting yourself allows you to play around with it a little bit more. And as I was saying, me realizing that some of these items were in base game. There was a bit of an eye-opener for me. Although this entire process has made me realise that, first of all, we need some new kitchen counters in the base game. Second of all, we need some new beds, specifically double beds for main bedrooms or teen rooms. We definitely need an overhaul for that. I think we have a really good range of flooring and wallpapers, but again, we can always use some more. But specifically, yeah, the kitchen counters is definitely a big thing for me. And then also the beds. We could do with a couple more fireplaces, maybe some more rugs. I feel like the decor with the base game in particular is quite dated now. It's very... I think I've talked about this before. It seems very Georgian to me. Again, I'm not entirely sure of time periods, specifically for like items and things like that, but it just seems very dated. And whilst that works with particular builds, you know, they have to be very specific. When you're doing a house like this, when it's just a typical family suburban house, which is what this is, I did find myself struggling with some of the rooms. And the living room was a challenge to begin with, but once I got the ball rolling, that was absolutely fine. The dining room came together really easily. The kitchen, that was more to do with maybe the shape of the kitchen, but we'll talk a bit more about that when we get onto the interior. But yeah, we could just do with a few more items and just in those areas. A couple more coffee tables, maybe some armchairs, things like that. I just think we need, and some more like decor clutter objects and things. I don't know, like maybe we just need a little bit of a base game overhaul. And I'm thinking that maybe because the base game's going to be provided for free as of the middle of October, maybe they've got something in mind for that, and maybe they're going to do a bit of an overhaul. That would be really good to see. Anyway, as we've been having a ramble, the exterior has definitely taken shape now. As you can see, the landscaping's pretty much set and the colour scheme's pretty much set. You'll just see me going backwards and forwards and just sort of twiddling with a few things and just messing around with a couple of things and just trying to make it as perfect as I possibly can. And I do think I was even more determined to make this house amazing because it is just base game, and I wanted to prove to myself that I could do this because as I can't remember if I said it at the start of the video, it's been over a year since I've even attempted a base game only build, and I wanted to see how far I've come. And it's really funny because I think I went for a very similar colour scheme in the one that I did last year. I'm not gonna show anyone, I'm not gonna link anything, because I always look back at some of my recent builds, even that I did like 2 or 3 months ago, and I'm thinking I could do so much better than that now because I am my own worst critic. But it was quite interesting to see that I went for a very similar colour scheme. But I've improved so much with things like landscaping, and I look at builds that I did like a year ago and I'm thinking I would just do things completely differently now. And it's crazy to me how even in a year you can make so much progress. Anyway, this is the interior. This is the ground floor plan. Every time a floor plan, plan has an L. And as you can see, the rooms are very large, and I wanted this house to be so gameplay friendly. It's not even funny. Like, all I had in my head was I want people to download this house and be like, wow, I can see my Sims living in here. I'm not going to have any issues. And what I was trying to do as well, as I was trying to make it not as cluttered as some of my other builds. Now, don't get me wrong, it's because I don't have access to most of the clutter that I gravitate towards in my usual builds because, again, just stripping it back down to base game. However, it was really nice because I was actually able to finish a room and not over clutter it and feel like it was finished. So again, just going back to that mindset of I don't always have to overclutter my builds, but I think when I have access to all the packs, that's just what I gravitate towards because it's comfortable for me. So this is the living room. It's a really nice size. I actually really like the layout of this room, and although I can't remember if I showed it on camera, well, I won't have done. I'm all over the place today, sorry. It's because I had in my head that I wasn't going to be doing a voiceover today, and now I'm trying to sit and do a voiceover. My husband's away and I've got the dogs like running around and everything's a little bit chaotic, so you'll have to excuse me. And I can't even remember what I was going to say. Oh yes, so this is my third attempt at the living room, and I had to step away because when I got onto the inside, I was like, the outside looks really good. I'm really happy with it. Right, I can't wait to start the inside. And then as soon as I got onto the interior, I was like, this is hard. This is too difficult. I can't do this. And then once I got into the groove of things, I was thinking, oh, this is amazing. Like I could put a desk here and a bookshelf here and a chair here and a rug here. And it just all started coming together once I knew what I wanted this room to look like. And I'm glad that I came back to it rather than just sticking with it and thinking that I would be able to make something work and getting frustrated. So this is probably one of my favorite rooms in the house, although I do like most of the rooms. And specifically, as I was saying at the start, the children's rooms up on the top floor, that I'm so proud of them. I can't even begin to explain how proud of them I am, and I can't wait to show you. So yeah, still working on the living room. I think this and the kitchen took the longest out of all of the rooms. So this is the kitchen. Look how awkward this shape is. I clearly wanted to completely challenge myself, and this is probably the most awkward shaped kitchen I've ever built. Couple that with base game only and you've got a very stressed out me because I was like, how am I even going to do this? Why have I done this to myself? Because I knew that I wanted the dining room to be just on the left hand side of here. It would have been much easier to make that rectangular room the kitchen, and then I could have made this the dining room, but it's far too large, and with a dining room you've got far less items to play with than you do with a kitchen. So I was like, I'm just going to try and make it work. And do you know what? I don't dislike it. I actually think it looks really nice. You may disagree. Now please bring me back down to earth and just tell me if this is no good, but I actually really like this. So again, you'll see me, I don't overclutter anything. There's nothing crazy going on. I was just thinking, I think I forgot a microwave, but it is there. I didn't put a coffee machine in here for some unknown reason. I clearly just had my head in the clouds. I've no idea. It's me. It's the possibilities really are endless in terms of that. However, I really like how this room turned out. Again, you'll notice the clutter really is stripped back. And you'll have to let me know if this is much better for you so that you guys can move your sim families in here. You've got that space to personalize it and make it your own. So you'll have to let me know if this is what you prefer. Obviously, my default is clutter, clutter, clutter. However, I'm more than happy to do more of these builds if it's something that you would like to see, because I very much enjoyed this. I got much less stressed because I wasn't thinking, I've got to put an item here and this there to make that look lived in, but it still looks lived in. You know, I'm really proud of this. This is probably the best base game house that I've ever uploaded and done. So you'll have to let me know what you think. This is the dining room, and I really like this room as well. It has a fireplace, it has a lovely big dining room table. Obviously, it does have a family of 8 living in the house. So it was really important for me to add a big dining room table to this house and make it fully functional. So as you can see, you can fit 8 Sims around here. You can, if you've got seasons, you can celebrate Winterfest in here and all the holidays. If you don't, then you can celebrate birthdays in here. You can have family parties. Like, this house just has it all. And I'm just thinking, I think this house, just totally random, I think it cost 121,000 simoleons. If my memory is serving me correctly, which I think it is. I think it's around 121,000 simoleons. So it's not exactly cheap, but it's worth it, okay? It is worth it. So if you like to play with cheats, or if you've already got a family that's sort of worked and built up those funds, then this is perfect for them. It's obviously not a starter house. If someone asks me to do a base game starter house, I might cry, because it's so out of my comfort zone. Starter houses anyway are outside of my comfort zone, sorry, but like starter houses base game only, no. Like, they terrify me so much. There are people that can do base game only builds that are starter houses, or like just these incredible builds, and this is the best that I can do. I'm gonna be completely honest, I feel like this is the best that I can do. Anyway, this is the main bedroom, and I decided to put this on the ground floor so that all the kids are just on the second floor there, and just to make it easier. So you'll see me struggling with the colour scheme. Again, for some reason, the colour scheme for the main bedroom completely stumped me, so you'll just see me going through a few different options. It's no big deal, but I spent a long time doing this. more time than I would care to admit because it's embarrassing. But I definitely decided on a more muted palette, I think. I'm just having a look through the screenshots now. No. So I end up going for like a soft wood paired with like the powder blue duvet with the like Nordic pattern on the bottom. I suppose you could call it this one here. Yes. Because I just go back to, we just don't have quite enough items in some of the categories to be able to pair everything together. Now, I'm not very creative when it comes to making items out of other items like some other simmers are. I'll put a bed down with a rug underneath and 2 bedside tables and call it a day, especially when it comes to the main bedrooms of my houses. Kids' rooms and teen rooms are a little bit more adventurous, but when it comes to the main bedroom, that's pretty much me set. So I do think we need, as I was saying, more fireplaces, more double beds, more rugs, and just things like that. I just think we need it. We need like a little base game overhaul, and that's what we need. I'm sorry. Please tell me if I'm missing something. I also think we need some more plants. I'm just thinking about this. More plants. We need some more artwork. I'm quite happy with the selection of curtains and blinds. I'm quite happy with that. I feel like they could add some more swatches to already existing items just to make things a little bit easier. But anyway, I've gone on another ramble and already talked through another room. So this is the upper floor. This is where the kids are, and they do just share one bathroom up here. But what I was thinking was there is a bathroom on the ground floor as well, which is a really good size. So I feel like it just kind of works. Initially, I was going to put 2 bathrooms up here, but it was more important for me to fit a toddler room up here. So let me just talk you through the rooms. We've got 2 rooms with a bunk bed each, so that's 4 Sims. Then we've got a toddler room, and then we've got a teen room. So I've covered all life stages. I did go for quite bold colour schemes with these rooms because I wanted to have a little bit of fun, because the rest of the house is quite muted and quite neutral. So with the kids' rooms, I wanted to have a little bit of fun. So again, if you want to tone them down, then you can just change some of the swatches and some of the wallpapers, but I wanted to have a bit of fun. So this is what I ended up coming up with. So this room was a very difficult size. Initially, I was going to split it and make it a 6-bedroom house, but then I thought, how would that work with the landing and the hallway area? So I decided to turn this just into 1 room, and I'm really glad I kept it like this, because the kids that are in this room, they have a lot of activities, but again, there's still a lot of floor space and a lot of room for your Sims to navigate around. They can have friends over, they can have sleepovers and things like that. So it's definitely functional and it's fun. More importantly, it is fun. And I was dreading this floor of this house, and when I started working on this room, I was having an absolute blast. And I knew that when I was going through each of the different rooms, they were each going to have their own individual colour schemes, but also be for different age groups as well. So it allowed me to explore some more of the items from the base game, and I can't emphasize enough how much fun I had creating these rooms. So you'll have to let me know what you think in the comments down below of what you think of these bedrooms. But this is the toddler room. It's the smallest room out of the rooms up here, apart from the bathroom. I think this is pretty much the same size as the main bathroom, which I know sounds a little bit crazy, but I think once I started shuffling some furniture around in this room, it actually works out really, really well. The toddler in here, they've got enough activities and toys to be getting on with it. And I almost forgot to put a potty in here, and then I realised that I needed to put one in. So I can't remember if I had that off camera or not. I genuinely can't remember. But I do end up shuffling the bed more into the centre of the room so that I could put a bedside table on the other side as well. Just allowed me to add some more items, a little bit more clutter, to make it look a little bit more personalised. And I knew that because I've just done a blue room, I definitely knew that I wanted to do like a pinky purple room. And then the teen room is very blue based as well. That's for like a teen or maybe like a student sim, like a uni student sim. And then the other twin room is like soft purples with hints of like white and yellow, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. I can't exactly remember, but this is what I was talking about. So I just end up shuffling some things around and adding a bit more items to the walls, and I really like that room. Actually, I really, really like how that looks. This is the other bunk bedroom. This is the one that I was just describing. So I think eventually we go for like a soft purple lilac theme, and I'm going to be completely honest, this is my fourth attempt at this room, because I'd already done the blue and I was really happy with it. Then I did the toddler room and I was really happy with that. And I'm thinking, well, I've already done the pink, so like, what do I do in here? I tried yellow, I tried white, I tried orange, and I was like, I cannot make this work. I think I even tried like a woodland theme at some point, could not make that work either. So this is the colour scheme that I ended up settling on. Again, really good sized rooms. They can have their friends round if they want to. Plenty of activities for them too. If mum and dad need some space downstairs, then the kids can be up in their rooms doing their own thing, whether it's homework, playing with toys, sort of chatting with each other, having a sleepover, and mum and dad can have their own space downstairs. So I thought it was just best to have the kids on a totally separate floor because that would be my idea of a dream world anyway. So we're just finalising this particular room here, adding some more clutter onto the walls and some more sort of decorations, and keeping with the lilac pinky theme with the pops of other colours as well to try and tie everything in as well. And I really like this room. It's definitely not something that I would gravitate towards on a normal day, I don't think, but again, really interesting to see what kind of colour schemes and themes I was coming up with, given that we were restricted with the pack. And then we just add, again, some more bits and bats, and I love the little rucksacks that come with the base game. You can get them in different swatches, but they are so cute. I add them to pretty much every kid's room. I even sized one down and put one in the toddler's room because I thought that was a really cute idea as well. This is the teen room, and I really like how this turned out actually. And although it's very blue themed like the twin boy room, I still think it works really, really well. And I definitely wanted to sort of show that this was definitely for a slightly older sim, as I was saying, either a teen or a uni student or something like that. Maybe it's even for a child sim that no longer lives at the house and they've maybe moved out, but mum and dad have just kept their room as it is, and maybe they'll turn it into a guest room or something in the near future, or like a gaming room for the other kids. I don't know. I don't know sort of like the storylines that you guys are going to be playing with, but there's just some ideas that went through my head. But I had an absolute blast again doing this room, and once I got into the groove of it, things were coming really, really easily to me, and I'm really happy with it. I think it looks fantastic. So yes, I'm going to start wrapping up now, thank goodness, because this has been a very long voiceover, what it feels like for me. So you can get this house from the gallery right now. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box below. You can get them for free from SimFileShare. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. Don't forget to check out the collaboration details in the description box below. You all take care, and I will see you next time I post a video. Bye!